with another organization. But before we get into that, let's take a look back, because we do need the historical context of these things. It's becoming too much of an issue now, where people feel the only way to speak with your prime minister, to speak about anything now, is to go and try to get a meeting, demand a meeting, because you're being so disrespected. But let's take a look back.
Watch now that we get in the cases that we get is because of our borders being open, hotels being open, and they keep on defending the hotel industry and all that. They have no strong evidence linking any backdoor entry at all. They cannot give us no evidence on that. And in the hotel they already got cases. The airport had a case. So why is the airport not closed for a week? Why is the fishermen? Why is the poor people of St. Lucia that have to pay for everything that happens in St. Lucia?
I'm feeling very, very bad and upset that Mr. Chasney just do his thing. He never give nobody notice, no fisherman. It's like fishermen is dogs to him. Not even dogs by his house, huh? Dogs that on the street, mongrels. That's what he taking us for. Because if you going to do something like that, fishermen, we giving you all a week for you all to raise your pot, and the following week you all will not be able to go. He could have done that. But he take us for dogs that are by the market. He ain't care with nobody. He just do his business, and we can't say nothing. We could talk, but it's nothing we could do about.
And we know that people were speaking about that the whole week last week and this week. We start off much in the same way on a Monday morning when they know, when people know that there's cabinet meetings and such. And the issue now is, if we can put up the next image, there's cancellation of theory and practical examinations, and the National Association, the Driving School National Association, they are upset with the way that this went on. You can see here, the Division of Transport has held much discussion on this suspension of practical and theory exam services due to the increase of community spread of the coronavirus. The division wishes to inform you that the safety of our clients and staff remain our top priority. Bearing this in mind, the Division of Transport upholds the decision on the suspension of practical and theory exams until further notice. When it is deemed safe to proceed with the examinations, the division informs that additional protocols of temperature checks by the examiners for both instructor and student before the examinations will be conducted in addition to the already existing protocols. Apart from the face masks, our examiners would also be wearing face shields as an additional precautionary measure. The division solicits your kind assistance in reminding your members of the safety protocols, with special emphasis on the physical distancing and proper sanitation of the vehicle to be used in the exam. Now, people received that Friday last week, well, the week before, and to them, again, it is yet another example of a lack of consultation, because it was just put on them. Now, I know that the examiners are angry, but I also know personally that the students too are angry, because if you are going to pay for something and now you have to wait, and there's an uncertainty about the waiting, then you have things that could be expired, like your medical certificate and your other certificates that will be expired. So you have to go now and renew it, and that's more money. And I do know that the examiners have lost a lot of money while they had to deal with COVID in the past few months. So with no other way that they're seeing, they have decided to do like the fishermen. The fishermen did last week, and go outside the government offices trying to get a meeting, trying to get the prime minister, to get any official to speak with them, because there wasn't any meeting. They didn't know that was going to come through. They didn't know that was going to happen. And when you have that as the only way of making money, I imagine, looking at Christmas looming ahead, what are you going to do? I did manage to speak to a few of them as they were waiting to speak with the prime minister this morning.
We came together in one accord for what we deem as a disrespect to the driving sector, where that we just 2 weeks ago received a letter from the ministry telling us that, well, they will close the theory and practicals abruptly on us. They're just like within that same week they will close that to us. And what we find, there wasn't, as we say, consultation with us to see the way forward and just do that. After we have been suffering from the 4 months of COVID, and after that we took all the necessary protocols, we're following the protocols, and we want to know like why would they just impose that upon us? That's one of the ministry main stakeholders, which is the driving association, for anything to take place in the ministry, whether it's for minibus to pay their license, for endorsement, anything. These people had already have to go for a driving school. So the driving school makes it or gets it done for the ministry, and for us to be always at the end of receiving disrespect from that ministry. We always have to suffer. Our students especially, our students pay a lot of money. You see, to do that driving, the students especially, they invest a lot of time and money in that, and to be disrespected, some of them get themselves ready for that exam, and then for it to just be taken away from them like that, and they don't even know when. To say, well, they can say next year at that time we will resume. They don't know. So it is a blow to us right now there. That's why we are here, Tricia.
Now, do you expect anything to happen? I know the fishermen took the same stance, having to go to the Prime Minister and demand a meeting. Do you think that will be the case here today?
Yes, we have a strong president, so I stand behind the president, and I felt with our members there, we should get something out of that. Yes, Tricia.
Now, explain to me the process of that. Driving instructors, you guys are independent business people, quite apart from the ministry and stuff. Talk to me about how it's been, how you guys have been affected over the past couple of months with COVID.
Well, for the COVID, you know, we had to shut down our industry. So like any other business, you get affected. But for me, I can speak for me, the other business people will. One thing I always know, I always prepare for days like that. My mindset is always prepared for days like that. So I could have, business will be affected, but for me as an individual, it didn't really to say affect me, because I always get ready for these kind of times. It affected my students especially, because I know they invested money into getting it, so they had to stop for a while, then start again. So you know, it put a strain on them. You understand? So that's what I can say on that aspect there.
But do you think that is the way to go about doing things, if fishermen and yourselves feel that the only way forward...
That's not the right way.
The only way forward is to come and expect and hope and pray for a meeting?
Begging, like we're begging. That's disrespect, Tricia. I myself against that disrespect, and that's the kind of thing that I see the government of the day has. It's like we have to come and beg, bend down at their knees and these kind of things, policy. You understand? They have a problem with consulting first and doing the relevant thing before they make a decision. They just do it, and then afterwards we that affected have to come and beg them. You understand? That's what I feel we get in here.
Only Friday before last, we got a memo saying that all free and practical exams ends last week, and we didn't have sufficient notice to inform our students of anything. Persons that paid for the practical exams, the permit will expire, simply the free exam will expire, which means they have to go through the whole process again to do a free exam. Some of the medicals will expire, and they'll have to get another medical that costs sometimes $100 and something. It is unfair to the public that we just have an abrupt stop to free and practical exams. We have examiners that have to pay the instructor's license. It's $250 a year, but then we're going to stop them from working. Whereas in the same process time, we have persons in hotels working, carrying out massages on other people's body, with their hands on other people's back and chest, and yet they're going to stop driving schools from having practical exams because of COVID. The Prime Minister himself said we should supposed to be able to coexist with COVID, right? But then we're going to shut down a sector due to COVID. We do not believe it is right, we do not believe it is fair. We have minibus drivers driving, the driver is on one side, the passenger is on the other side. In the driving school vehicle, we're only having 2 people on board the vehicle. So we don't see a reason why they should end practical exams. For the free exams, it is a large room that normally accommodates 25 persons. We could cut it down to at least 10 or even 5 to go and do exam, but you don't stop those things and just have the sector to just end right there. Some of those driving school persons we see around, sometimes taking care of 1, 2, 3 families, because so many people are out of work. They actually depend on those who are working to assist them. I will tell you, in my household, I have 2 households in my household that I have to take care of. So when you see stop practical exams, what happens is students now stop driving, because what's the point of driving if you cannot do a practical exam to get a driver's license? We don't think it is right, we don't think it is fair. And The worst thing is that they had no respect for us. No consultation at all. It was just boom, brap, and finish with that. Like, we don't matter. So this one, we're waiting to see the Prime Minister when he comes in, because the buck stops with him. He's the one in charge, right? We're going to have a meeting with him and the CMO too, because we are following all protocols. We have hand sanitizers, we hand sanitize students as they come in the vehicle, we wipe down the vehicle, we wipe down the controls, and everything else of that sort. So we believe that since we have been following protocols just like everybody else, our sector should not close just because of COVID. If you're going to shut down the entire country, close all doors, front doors, back doors, and all the windows as well. Don't leave anything open. And let's see how we can go from there.
But also, how much are you optimistic that anything will come out of it? I know the fishermen had to do the same thing. Is this the new protocol now if you want to get some sort of conversation?
Well, you see, when you don't consult with people and just drop things on them, then they have to find an avenue to consult with you, since you're the decision maker. And I could tell you that if today we don't get to meet with the Prime Minister, we're going to take some drastic actions where this entire island will stop. It will stop because we can block the roads. We can have our students driving so slow on those roads that traffic doesn't flow. Those things can happen, right? If they have consultation with us, we'll decide as to what goes on. I'm probably going too far here and probably some people thinking, oh my goodness, what is he saying? But this is what happens when you don't consult with the people you're supposed to be taking care of.
Now, that's just two instructors that decided to speak with me. There was some more than a dozen people were there, again, frustrated about what continues to happen, this lack of consultation. This lack of consultation that they, I think, rightfully say it's disrespect. And we know that we're continuing to see this discrimination against so many different sectors. And again, like he said, close the borders, close the windows, close the doors. And, that really continues to be a real pain for a lot of people, because they don't know what's going to happen. They are uncertain about what's going to happen with their livelihoods. Meanwhile, the people who coming from the epicenter of COVID are being let in with nothing. There is nothing, people not even looking in their direction, but we're looking at fishermen, then you're looking at driving instructors. And he does make a point. If you're going on a minibus, that's the same thing. If you're driving with anybody in the vehicle, that's the same thing. And I do know for certain that a lot of, what I have experienced is that driving instructors have, and they do have the, sanitizing your hands and adhering to the protocols, wearing the mask as you learn how to drive and that sort of thing. I do think it continues to be disrespectful of our leaders if that is the only way left for people who have certain issues to come. You know what it is? And that's the second time. So now every time you have a problem, you have to go on a Monday and hope that the Prime Minister will decide to speak with you. Is that what it is now? Because, you see that with the fishermen. Now you're seeing that. I wonder what will happen next week, because we know you're not consulting. We know everything is about COVID. So you're just ramming things through people's throats, not even understanding that people have things to do. They are being affected. I don't know if this is going over people's heads, how they cannot understand that this is a continuing thing going on. It is disrespectful, but I do know that later on, about 20-30 minutes ago, I think the Prime Minister did walk through, and some of the driving instructors there decided to take their own videos, and I appreciate the sincerity of it. I appreciate you guys wanting to let people know how things are going and what exactly and how exactly things are being handled at this time.
Right. So ever since this lady, I don't know who she is, the lady in green, I don't know who she is, I don't know what is her designation, she never introduced herself. She just reached there, asked us if we are driving school, so I don't know why I have to listen to her, right? Since that time she's in the vehicle, as the Prime Minister reached, no, you can record me recording. As the Prime Minister reached, she wanted to come there and pull us aside to break up our ranks, right? Okay? She never introduced herself. Who is she? Who's this lady in green? Somebody please inform me. Because she never introduced herself to us. All the time she's there. As the Prime Minister reached, that's when she wants to come and pull people apart. Right? Is she the Prime Minister's bodyguard? What is she? Somebody help me. Okay, so that's not. That's not camera in my face. Tell me no recording.
What's your name?
My name is Always Pass.
Always Pass, Must Pass.
Must Pass and Always Pass. We are brothers. Oh. It is very cold. Stacy is busy right now.
So you're telling me the Prime Minister because I have no mask.
Yes.
Come please. Morning.
Hi.
I thought Thomas was your president.
No, Thomas is not our president, huh?
Suspense to, what is it, they've suspended driving or something like
Yes,
that.
they've suspended driving
Okay, so
exam.
can I get, who's your executive?
One, two, John.
Can I get your executive? Are you with the driving school?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you. No recording for me, please.
Oh, no recording? Okay. All
Your
right.
executive.
We are here from time before you. 1, 2, 3.
I can bring everybody and I cannot have everybody.
Yes.
I am asking.
Yeah, so we have
2 or 3
myself
persons, please.
and John ahead of me.
What's in the recording? You mean no audio or no video?
No video, nothing of it.
No, I think I have a photographic memory. Does that count? Okay.
How is it?
Wait, so what can they record on like a record?
I'm sorry, I don't have anything recording. I'm just trying to organize this people. So if y'all can go with me, go, please. Thank you very much.
Let's see, Nancy. So what I think I saw there was, that was Nancy, the Director of Implementation, trying to handle the situation, I take it, and trying to call them away as the Prime Minister tries to walk through. I mean, you have to give it to Nancy though. You have to give it to